Hey guys, this is part 2 to episode 3, dealing with insanity in the workplace. We're going to pick up where we left off last week. This is about right in the middle of the episode, so enjoy.
Take that first step.
Yeah. So, for instance, for me today, and I'm gonna move us on into like when you're actually arriving at work. Like, again, I think I've said this one of other podcasts. I work in a very difficult environment with some very difficult, very ego-driven people, and it's been tough going in. But I find that when I take that time before I go into work, preferably, of course, the night before, but of course, when you're going into work, you can feel that if you hate your job, if you feel like it's a really bad place and you're waiting on that transition period, it can be tough waking up and stepping foot in that place. And I was feeling a bit of that today. Like, man, I can't wait to get the hell out of this joint. But my goal is not to resist it all day long. That only ever creates more resistance and more suffering. So I started paying attention to it. I'm like, how do I turn this day into a spiritual practice? How do I make this become my sort of proving grounds for myself to create sort of a day-to-day, second-to-second spiritual experience? You need to do that when you're going through bad situations. I started paying attention to the carpet beneath my feet, that bland beige carpet that everyone has. It's all Berber or whatever. The cold door when you put your hands on it. The second you step into that office and you sit down in your desk and you hear your coworkers and your bosses walking around. Take all of those seconds as an introspective moment to not think, don't think about it, but pay attention to it. Go inside of yourself and start those meditative habits to create an environment of awareness.
Yeah, you're almost creating a good mood for yourself. So you're creating like your immediate area, like right around, you could say like a 1 foot radius or 2 foot radius. You're creating that energy for yourself. You know, don't worry about everyone else. They're always going to have their own thing going on. And you know what? It's not really your business. You know, Stay out of their business. Just get into your business. And you'd be surprised at how much that will empower you through your day.
I like to call this the dog barking theories. Not really a theory, but the method. People and their bad moods and emotions and their bad habits, it's like a barking dog. Dogs bark because they feel they have to. And sometimes dogs, they don't always need to bark, right? Like my dog, I love the little guy. He hears a little jingle in the background. He's like, I gotta bark, woof, 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 because he's hearing something outside and he thinks it's his job, to do that. And it's just sort of it's a reactive response to something that his subconscious mind is hearing going on. People's egos are the same way. It's a barking dog.
Yeah,
now,
sometimes it's like the bark, but like in your head, behind it is not just the bark, but it's the bark. It's like their boss, and they kind of like hold your fate in their hands.
Oh yeah.
And it's easy to get stuck and getting worried about, what will I say? Will I say the wrong thing? Will this get worse? Will I lose my job?
Exactly. And that pressure can make it extra difficult to stay in that conscious state. But when you have I see when you have when you have that day of prepared relaxation and meditative state kind of going on, I guarantee you your spiritual defenses will be way up, and you will not be as susceptible to other people's negativity. Again, today I got called in for a pretty ridiculous reason, and what would have otherwise tipped off my temper. And personally speaking, I've been on a spiritual journey for a long time, but my temper still does, fly off at times, and it can happen usually under very extreme circumstances when I feel like someone's either in control of my money or they're very closely related to you and they're doing something extremely negative and ignorant. But that didn't happen today. I felt great. I walked in and I relaxed. For one, I think the guy's name is Jordan Peterson I was listening to. I could be screwing his name up, so sorry, buddy. I was trying to hook you up. But he said when you're sitting down in a Patterson, Jordan, I don't know, whatever. When you're sitting down, getting ready, not Jordan Pew, but sit back, get into a relaxed position. That will put your brain in a particular spot so that you don't get, like, if you're sitting forward and like arms forward and I'm gonna punch the shit out of you sort of stance, that will put you in a fighting mood almost immediately. So sit back a little bit, get relaxed, and try some stuff out. See what works for you and what helps you to relax the most. But try.
Yeah, see if you're clenching your fists.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we do that, we forget that we're doing that, or you're gritting your teeth or something like that. You're like, one thing for me, it was like furrowing my brow, but it was something that I wasn't aware of. But sometimes your body just reacts to the stress and does certain things. But paying attention to those things can actually kind of relieve things for you and actually put you in a more relaxed state and a more meditative state. And like Marquis said, finding that nice, comfortable position in which to kind of approach the person in front of you.
Oh yeah, and that kind of goes. So when you're sort of caught up at work, avoid things like gossip. It's tough to do, and we all like to complain. We all like to go into who's doing what, and who's doing this and that, and it can be fun and juicy. Try to stay out of it as much as you can. I mean, sometimes if you are in it, you find yourself doing it. Understand that you are doing it. Be honest with yourself about it. Know what it is when it's happening so you don't identify with the gossip and you don't get caught up in it. Because the most important thing about this is not what's said, it's the resonating emotion afterwards, for all sides. And in yourself in particular, this is a focus about you. You want to make sure you're not putting yourself into, Johnny said, what about me? Fuck that asshole. You know what I mean? And you might be justified in feeling that. Your boss might be a dick. Your coworkers might be pricks. But still, this is about you, and this is about you finding your peace.
I know I didn't like Johnny. That guy. But going back to the gossip thing too is you get like you can get an ego boost from it. If it's something that maybe somebody you don't particularly like or kind of jive with, if you hear something about them, sometimes you'll go, oh yeah, I knew that person was such and such. Yeah. So it can kind of give your ego a little bit of a boost. Another thing, it could have like a physical response to it, because sometimes when you do certain things, like like say somebody that shops a lot, right? They want to buy things, it gives them a little bit of a high. So that actually getting into gossip a little bit can kind of give you a little bit of a high.
Oh, it absolutely. I could give a big hey receipt, a bunch of girls at a hair salon. I don't know if that's as prevalent these days. I don't know if they're as gossipy these days, but at hair salons anyways.
But it does, it's like that needle.
Oh yeah,
it just shoots, and then your body reacts, and then there's a chemical reaction to it.
It's a feeling of, I guess you could sort of say it's a feeling of superiority to some degree, or justification. You feel right and they feel wrong, and there might be some sort of moral, some sort of poor moral behavior that the other person is doing. That may or may not be. But again, this is all about we try to be. But this is all about you finding that peace. And if that is honestly your goal, and anyone who's telling me that peace is not their goal, I don't think they really understand themselves very well. But you got to be honest with you. If you really are prepared to put the effort into making that a reality, you got to back out of it. If anything, understand what you're doing when you're doing it. So. I was thinking, do you want to save some of this for another podcast, or it's a bit long we're preaching?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah.
Kind of move on.
Yeah, well, okay. Let's touch on money a little bit. I think that's fine.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, these are crucial to the work experience. People should know about them. They should at least hear from us.
Yeah, I talked a little bit about it, but
yeah. Well, you did. You did, because when there's things like a boss, because it drives right into your money, right?
Yeah.
It's that notion of survival, and it can give rise to all kinds of fear, and fear can give rise to anger and so on. The best way to alleviate this torture is to understand where your fear comes from. Your fear is not, I repeat, is not given to you by other people. They may do things that are horrible and, like really immoral things to do to someone. But your fear, your anger, all of your emotions do arise from within you. Now, other people's bad behavior is their responsibility, but your emotions are yours to deal with. No matter what, they are yours, and you should be in control, or at least you should be in a place where you want to be in control, or in a position to affect or change your emotions once they do arise.
Yeah, that's a big part of it, because if you don't, like you were saying, control, if you don't understand the origin of your fear, you're going to find some unhealthy ways to actually try to control the situation.
Oh, yeah.
And that could be, of course, your anger.
Yeah.
It could be raising your voice, trying to find a position of dominance somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But anger is definitely fear.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Aggression
Yeah.
is masked fear, basically.
It is, big time.
And it doesn't matter, if you have a stick in your hand or if you yell at somebody, aggression is aggression. And that's just a way to deal with your fear.
It's sort of a way to make yourself improve your feeling of self-worth. You're trying to rise above someone by letting them know that they can't take you over. And there in some instances there are healthy responses that sort of come out that can help bring you back to a place of mental stability, but don't let anger be your crutch.
Yeah, none of them, those that you talk about, none of them involve fear at all.
Exactly.
They don't involve anger at all.
Yeah.
It involves have self-assurance, really.
Exactly. And speaking of self-worth, money can often be related to a feeling of self-worth. The more I have, the better off I am. I was kind of shocked. I've talked to some people very, very close to, and to hear them speak quite frankly, the more money you have, the better a person you are. Not maybe, perhaps, morally speaking, but you're more skilled, you're more... you're better suited in life and that sort of thing if you're able to make more money. A lot of people have these notions, if not consciously, then subconsciously. You really want to find out if that's your case. Do you associate your self-worth with money? Do you have your future goals and focus of obtaining money? Are they notions that if I do obtain this, I will be a better person?
Yeah, we'll be happier.
Exactly.
Right? Because a lot of us do believe that money buys you freedom,
Yeah.
But sometimes it could just be shackles. The more things you have, the more things you have to be responsible for.
That is very true.
You just kind of have to keep it up and, keep going. And, if you build that tower too tall, right,
Mm-hmm.
without a good foundation,
Oh, yeah.
then it just all comes crashing down,
And there's nothing wrong with making money.
No.
We want money.
Yeah.
We would love for this podcast to sort of turn out and bring us $1 billion freaking dollars. Sure, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But like Victor's talking about, you need to understand the difference between your feeling of self-worth, your true source of happiness, and money. Money can, of course, provide freedom in certain circumstances, but it can absolutely provide shackles. Look up the statistics on people who win the lottery suddenly. Their lives don't just all of a sudden get fantastic, man. A lot of people get into some craziness. So, a solid foundation of healthy consciousness mixed with some cash can be good. And so can sort of surrendering to the fact that you don't have a bunch of money or that you are dirt poor. Yeah. Some of the best times in my freaking life have been when I've been rock bottom. When you sort of hit that place, you're like, I don't really have much further to go. This is kind of nice.
Yeah.
You can find happiness and you can absolutely find peace in any circumstance.
Yeah, and then knowing and having an understanding of why you're making your money, like a real in-depth look at it, where you come to a point where you do have sort of that balanced, like the spiritual or the wisdom with making money, and knowing why you're doing it. Are you enjoying yourself? Are you, you can't take it with you.
Yeah.
So are you sharing it with others?
Oh, yeah.
Are you buying things for yourself, maybe for your friends, for your family? Are you, I don't know, are you going to the soup kitchen? Are you buying things for the poor? I'm not saying that you have to do this, but these are some things that maybe if you can wrap your mind around it will actually make you feel good about why you're making money other than just trying to accumulate and get more and more and have 5 cars in the garage, and and a mansion and a huge backyard and all that good stuff.
Eckhart Tolle said, don't make money your end goal. It's okay to have a goal to, make money to do something with it. But when making money is solely the goal is, I make money to make money. Like, what do you want to do when I get older? I want to be a rich man. Well, that's a very empty life. And by all means, give it a shot if you want to see just how empty your life will be once you do that.
Should I stay or should I go now?
So we want to wrap this podcast up with the final thing. So if you are in a god-awful situation, you will be asking yourself, should I stay or should I go? And to answer that, we kind of have a few questions for you. So are you looking at this with the is the grass greener on the other side attitude? Or are you stepping through a pile of shit for a paycheck? So... and the difference is, of course, if you're just seeing that life would be better on the other side because that's better over there, whereas it's just better than mine, and versus where you are is actually quite horrible. There's a big difference between the two, and because there are situations that you can improve by simply having a different outlook, right?
Yeah, there's change for change's sake.
Yeah,
but. When like fear is not your motivation for giving something up, or anger or anything like that, if you could find like a good place, you know what I mean, like a home base or earth to kind of make your decision. And the thing is whether you do stay, you got to stay and still improve, because even if you can't get out of it right away, it's better to keep doing those things, keep finding clarity, keep breathing, stay on that path until you do decide to leave.
Oh, yeah. And I do feel that you should absolutely be contributing to the place that you're in. And if you're in a place where you're not contributing anything and you're just there for a paycheck, if you got to stay, do your thing, but get that paycheck, but find a way out of that motherfucker, man. Yeah. Seriously, get out of there. Find a way to get to a place where you can give a bit of you to a place. Don't go to a place just because it's got a nice paycheck. Go someplace where you're contributing to society in some form or fashion. At least contributing your creativity to the place that you're going to. Life is not about just getting that buck. You will find how miserable life can be once you've obtained money just to obtain it. It's like going after someone that you find super attractive just because you find them super attractive. Yeah. If that's all that was going on, and then you finally, have sex, or you get that promise of a relationship from him or her or whatever, you will find that your relationship is actually quite shallow and things get miserable very quickly. So
that process just repeats itself.
Oh yeah. We're going to be going into relationships in a very soon podcast coming up. But back to work. Here's another question we have for you. Victor came up with this one. This is great. Are you finding excuses not to follow your dreams, and that's why you're at work?
Yeah, it's easy to just say, oh well, the job is not that bad.
Oh yeah.
The pay is pretty good, or I get medical and things like that. And then the other thing is just fear of losing that job, and losing your medical and all those things.
The brain is very comfortable with what it knows, even if it's bad. That's why people stay in abusive. That's why some people stay, as a disclaimer, some people stay in abusive relationships, is because even though it's horrible and they're not with someone who's good for them, it's what they know. And what you don't know is scary as hell.
Yeah, it is scary, yeah. And it's easy to convince yourself and say, oh, well, maybe I won't be good at that. Or, they won't buy the paintings I'm painting. But
exactly.
Is it about that, or is it actually about painting?
Exactly.
Do you think Rembrandt or, Van Gogh was in it? They were in it for the paycheck?
Oh, no.
We appreciate them a lot now, but who knows what it was like for them way back when.
Well, true. Whenever you have something that's deep inside of you that you want to contribute in some form of creative endeavor, and creative doesn't just mean art, by the way. You could be a mechanic. You could be a creative lawyer.
Yeah, scientist.
Exactly. Make sure that what you're doing is your creative contribution to society. It should be 100%. It should be. You should
Yeah.
not be doing something and you fucking hate it. You should be doing something because you do feel like you're contributing.
Yeah, life is more than just being okay.
Oh, heck yeah, it is. Heck yeah, it is.
You know, if you have a passion,
Yeah.
find a way to bring it into the world.
Yeah, yeah. Your
You
time
know?
is worth way more than just a
Yeah.
few bucks. Yep.
Yeah, you do have something to contribute, you know, and, you know, if you have that passion, find a way to do that and maybe balance it with your work life.
Oh yeah, finding a good list of pros and cons is a healthy thing to do, but you know, make sure you're listening to your intuition on this matter. Don't just take our advice for the
No,
for what you're gonna
don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't only take the advice, please.
Oh yeah.
Wherever you get it. So, you know, whether it's the news or some teacher that you like, you know, take it, sit with it, apply it if you want, you know, but don't just take our word for it.
This what we're talking about is stuff to help you dive inside, and that's about it. We're here to help you, but perhaps give you some guidance on some things. We're here to help you. You know, if you have a particular situation that you want to have answered, we are more than happy to talk about that with you. But use this stuff that we're talking about as sort of a directional signal to take you back inside to, oh, you know what? I never thought about looking at that inside that way, and that might provide some clarity for you.
Yeah, this could be a jumping board, you know, or, you know, into something that you never really knew that was possible.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you could really, I mean, you think you know yourself that well?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can very much not only surprise yourself, but a lot of people around you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, a lot of people out there are more talented than you think.
Oh, yeah.
I know so many people that are so scared and don't do the things that really kind of light their fire. And that to me, like, it makes me sad sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lots of wasted talent out there.
Yeah.
And humans, man, we are so underutilized for our true potential.
Oh, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we're just like, it's more robotic than artistic, you know, and it has to be a combination of both, actually.
Oh yeah,
you know.
But I guess that's kind of it for today. We've gone.
Oh,
I know, man. We're gonna have to just kind of keep these at about 40 because we got some of these good episodes that are going a bit longer. So. Well, thanks a lot, you guys. We really appreciate you coming out and listening to this. Spread the word, man. We love it. If you have any questions, write that shit down for us. Let us know what you want to talk about. You know.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. You know, I think everyone should be heard from. You know, everyone's got a voice.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So let's hear it.
Oh yeah. Let's hear it out, guys.
Let's hear it, boo.
Thanks for joining Easy Awakenings. We will see you next time.
All right, peace.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. That wraps up episode 3, Dealing with Insanity in the Workplace. Please like and subscribe, leave comments, do all of those. And don't forget to check us out on YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, and Podbean. There's more to come after that. So again, take it easy at work, and we will see you next time.
We should do that.
Sure.
Yeah. You want me to do it now? Hey, you know what I feel like doing, Marquise? Let's go talk to an animal. Hey, there's an animal right there. Hey, Chewy. How you doing there, buddy? You got a nice coat there. How did you get it? How'd you get it so curly? What, you're not going to answer me? Okay, well, I'll answer for you. Well, I got this coat. I don't know where it is.